put the radar data on top of the warnings itself. Just click the little eyeball and those will come off. You can also take off the query and then those will come off of there also. So this is the warnings that we're talking about, again, for southern Pike County in Illinois. It is the Pittsfield area down through the Pleasant Hill area. That thunderstorm, as it is approaching, coming across the river at this time. It is not quite into Pike County, Illinois. Let's zoom in here really tight and look what's going on right in this area. So we're talking about Ashburn, then rolling across the river, Pleasant Vale, which is really a crossroads, over to Derry. Atlas, you are under a tornado warning, then off towards Martinsburg, Pittsfield, all of that south of the Pittsfield area, all under a tornado warning, which I think does include New Salem in Pike County. Louisiana, you're going to be at the very southern tip of this, and then it kind of following, it was really tracking almost straight to the east. It does look like it's taking a little bit of a northeasterly move to it, located right over Louisiana. It is moving to the northeast at 65 miles per hour.
That the low-level circulation is heading right over Louisiana at this moment and will be crossing the river momentarily.
There we go. So we're talking about this storm here moving again across the river and then over to the Illinois side of things. Before we get too far into this and we're watching this storm, there is another storm that we are watching that is to the north that had a tornado warning on it all the way over outside of the viewing area. Just to the west of us, if we could zoom over to the west just a little bit, keep going to the west. And if you take that query off there, Logan, that's up there in the windshield, those stop popping up. And then right here, we're watching this storm in particular. It is in Adair County, which is outside the viewing area, but as it rolls to the east, it would be approaching the LaBelle area. So we do have our eyes on this storm also, this outside of the viewing area. We again have numerous thunderstorms. We've got some flash flood warnings that have been going on also. In addition to that, some flood warnings. Logan's probably going to go over those with us in just a moment. Let's zip back down to the radar down here to what is approaching the tri-state area right now. And that is what we're talking about. Again, the southern area of Pike County is under a tornado warning. This tornado warning was issued just moments ago. It is valid until 6 o'clock. It is for southern Pike County in Illinois. It also does encompass our folks just across the river into Pike County, Missouri, Louisiana, Pleasant Hill, Martinsburg, up to Pittsfield. Pearl, you folks down there, you guys are all under a tornado warning also. So Pleasant Hill, Martinsburg, Pittsfield, all could see the impacts of what has been a storm that we haven't had a lot of damage reports out of just yet, but all indications are that we are seeing some very strong wind gusts with this also. We thought 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts were potentially coming out of this storm before we saw the tornado warning. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning that is also ongoing for areas that are just north of that into Pike County, just south of the Berry area. That does also roll up close to Griggsville, just to the west of the Griggsville area. That little bit of a sliver there, severe thunderstorm warning, goes until 5:30, which is another 25 minutes from now. So we'll continue to watch that. And I'm going to go back over here just for a second here and flip, but just put that back into motion for us. Put that radar back into motion for us, Logan. And I want to change a couple things around on there so we can watch what's happening. Let's just get down in here to the control panel, and what we'll do is we'll move the warning outlines just down below here so we can have the premium now route rolling on top of the radar for right now. We'll look at it that way for now, but we will flip back and forth so we can see where the tornado warning is actually encompassing. And then we'll put that, if we could stop that, and then we'll draw a track on there. What we'll do is stop it. We're going to draw a track on here. Again, it is moving at a pretty good clip at 65 miles per hour. So when we stretch this all the way out to the northeast at 65 miles per hour, there's a big impact zone that is outside of the warned area that this, again, if it holds together, will impact a lot of areas. Again, we're talking about Pittsfield over toward the Glasgow area, Winchester, these folks over into Scott County that are not in the warning as of yet. But if we were to continue to track this storm out and it were to hold together, those are the folks that we're talking about, and all those being impacted before 6 o'clock. We'll go ahead and take that down off of there now. But that's what we're watching right now. Very active thunderstorm that is rolling. Even the very northern portion of this, these are knocking down some pretty impressive rainfall totals and some pockets in here. We had not a whole lot of radar or indicated hail on this storm as it was approaching, and hadn't had a lot of reports of it. Always had some indications on radar of some small hail out of this, some pea-sized, some dime-sized hail on the high side of things. But we're seeing some very strong pockets of thunderstorm and heavy rainfall with this. Flash flooding has been a concern. As this approaches some of the smaller tributaries that roll into the Illinois River, those will be a concern as they've already seen 3 to 4 inches of rain. Southern Adams County saw a good chunk of rain, including the Quincy area, all of that under a flood watch at this time?
Yes, the flash flood watch are for all the areas in green. Those are the northern counties. They extend through 7 a.m. Monday morning. And then we do have several flash flood warnings out, including one for southern Adams and parts of northern Brown counties. That's out until 8:15. Some of these areas have received up to 4 to 5 inches of rain in the last 24 hours or so, and these storms are rolling right over the same locations. We also have a flash flood warning for central Schuyler County. That goes until 8 o'clock, and southern Brown and northern Pike counties, that flash flood warning runs until 9:15 this evening. And remember, if you come across flooded roadways, never drive through flooded roadways, and keep an eye on those rising water levels, as that's an additional threat, including the tornado warning.
All right, we'll go back to the radar when we get that radar back up here real quick. Then, Logan, if you, over on Max 2, once we get this up and going on Max 2, if you would go ahead and put up our tornado tips. But this is the zone we're talking about. Tornado warning valid until 6 o'clock. It is the southern areas of Pike County. It is now just coming across the river right now from Louisiana, across the Mississippi River, and that will then be approaching Pike County, Illinois. This is the storm, again, that we saw had reports of a rotating wall cloud on, and so that is, again, what prompted the National Weather Service to issue this warning for the tri-state area. That's our concern right now. Now, it does show some indications here that it is tracking a little bit further to the north instead of to the south. And if we zoom in here and take a tighter look at this, and I was to draw a line on where this is going, as a matter of fact, they have kind of taken a little bit of a trim off of this tornado warning. We're going to give an update. We're going to print that up for you and get that to you in just a moment. I'm going to stop it right there, which I did not want to do, but that's what happened. That is the lightning that is approaching the storm. Copious amounts of lightning and very, very intensely focused lightning that is, again, just out ahead of this severe thunderstorm that is capable of producing a tornado.
They said the peak of the circulation is now expecting to pass between Rockport and Pleasant Hill at this moment.
Okay, so Rockport, Pleasant Hill, we'll zoom that radar into that location. We'll show you exactly where that is, just south of the Pittsfield area, or south and southwest of the Pittsfield area. Right in here. Just go Lex back to the left just a little bit. There we go. I'm sorry. There we go. So right along the highway here that runs up toward Atlas, if you get to Atlas and then down toward the Pleasant Hill area, the circulation, though, is going to be rolling right here just to the north of the Atlas area. So that's what we're talking about, what we're watching. They trimmed off the northern half of this. It's rather focused now. They did leave it out for the southern half of southern half of Pike County, but it really looks to me like they should have maybe just trim this just a little bit the other direction. That's a pretty narrow window here for the tornado warning to go through. Atlas, you guys are just about under the gun now for this circulation. Folks, it's still daylight out there, but you don't want to be out tracking this tornado. You don't want to be out in this tornado. You do want to be indoors. So if you guys could take, if our directing crew in there could flip us over to Max 2 real quick, and that'll kind of give us our tornado safety tips. And then we'll fire those up, and I think maybe Logan will sit here and give us a little rundown of what those are.
Yeah, so when these tornado warnings are issued, there are certain locations that you want to take shelter in. You want to be in the bottommost portion of your home. This includes hallways, a stairwell, a bathroom, or an interior closet as well, something that is in the central part of your home, farthest away from any windows or outward facing walls. The best place to take shelter would be in a basement if you have a basement available. Now, the tornado terminology I wanted to go over real quick. Of course, the region is under a tornado watch for the rest of this evening. That tornado watch goes until 10 o'clock tonight. That is as we are monitoring this storm in Pike County, which has the potential to produce a tornado. and storms out in central Missouri. So this tornado watch means conditions are favorable for the development of tornadoes. That is in effect for much of the southern half of the tri-states. A tornado warning means that a tornado is spotted or it is imminent or indicated on radar. So that is what we're dealing with in Pike County. So again, what you want to be dealing with, or where you want to be going for your tornado safety: an interior room on the bottom floor, a hallway, a closet, a stairwell, or a bathroom as far away from the outside of the house as possible. And then the best place you can possibly go is in the basement as well. So those are some tornado safety tips to get you where you need to be. If you're driving out in around Pike County, you want to try to find a sturdy shelter to take shelter in. If you're driving on the interstate or in any of those other locations, you really want to try to pull over and find the most sturdy structure that you can to take shelter in the tornado.
All right, let's go ahead and flip it back to Max 1. Thank you, Logan. If you could there, thank you, Mr. Director. We are watching right now some pretty heavy, this isn't showing up just yet, but we are seeing some pretty heavy rainfall totals out of this also. So this is rolling across already what is some saturated ground. It has crossed the river. If you are in Pike County, Missouri, and watching us, you can stand down as far as this thunderstorm is concerned. That thunderstorm's still wrapping up. It does have a pretty decent signature on it right now. So, but to me, it is on the very, very northern edge up here toward the Pittsfield area, rolling up toward the Griggsville area. If you're in the Atlas area, you still are under what is some pretty intense rainfall and some potential here just to the north of the Atlas area to be in that circulation. The circulation is probably right back into here.
I did want to note the Weather Service mentioned they are seeing another circulation that they're monitoring. You can kind of see this little kink here just to the north of Pittsfield and just to the south of Griggsville. This area they're also monitoring on the northern side of the warning. That is not the original circulation they issued the tornado warning for, but they're also monitoring increasing rotation in that area as well.
And that would totally make sense, really, because this is just out ahead of this. Our wind flow kicked out of the south at about 1 o'clock this afternoon and really started to gust, and that's really feeding the storms at the surface. So when we got these surface-based, we call them surface-based storms, but we have the ones that are feeding with energy from the surface. That can oftentimes happen. A lot of times it happens on the southern flank, but because of the tip, the way this system is actually tipped, we're seeing the storms out ahead of that, seeing a little bit of inflow or notch. But what that could do is choke this storm off down to the south just a little bit, but we'll continue to watch southerly inflow for that storm. The southern tip or southern portions of Pike County, south of the Eldera area right now, into the Pittsfield area, over towards Griggsville, you folks are under a tornado warning. If you are in the Atlas area, it is just north of you. If you're in Pleasant Hill, while you're in the tornado warning, if you're in Perla while you're in the tornado warning, that is not what you folks are not going to see that right now. So Logan, what I want to do is real quick is just take our cone and put it right here just to the north of the Atlas area, drag that out at 65 miles an hour to the northeast if we got that much space on our screen, and this will kind of pin it down for you folks. I think I said Atlas, you're already out of the zone right at this time, but it will run through the very northern portions of the northern portions of this warned polygon, which would include Pike or Pittsfield. Here's the towns that we'd be looking at. Some of these are just little small burgs. We're all the way over into Morgan County by the time we get to 6 o'clock. So with the speed of this storm, it is likely that we will see another warning issued because, just like I said, the extreme speed of this storm moving to the east, northeast at 65 miles an hour. While Winchester, you are not under the warning at this time over in Scott County. No one is in Scott County. It is starting to lick up here on the Scott County edge. So let's get that back off of here and put this back into motion again. And this is, again, the warned area. If you are following us on radio and you are driving right now, we'll continue to see how that storm is approaching there. Right now, so that says it's 54. Then it does roll up toward the Pittsfield area. Interstate 72 is not under the warning until you get all the way up to the 54 junction of 72, just north of the Detroit area, Pittsfield, Detroit area. That tornado warning, again, valid until 6 o'clock tonight for Pike County and Pike County, Illinois. It is possible we could have another warning. I don't want to lose focus of what's going on. If we go into portions of northeastern Missouri, earlier we had a tornado warned storm that just approached into Adair County. It did make it into Adair County at Kirksville. It looks like they're going to let this expire when it gets to the Kirksville area. They've trimmed off the backside of this. So like I said, I think they'll probably let this one expire. So folks that are up here in Knox County, while we are not out of the woods because we are under a tornado watch until 10 o'clock, and I'll just say this, you're under a tornado watch really until this storm moves through. Once this moves through, that'll pretty much spell the end for what the potential for tornadic activity is on that very northern tier. There's not much going on the backside of this, so they'll likely start to trim this watch back as soon as this exits the Kirksville area. This county, Kirksville, or Adair County will come out. Those counties will come out of that watch area. So this is where we're going as we see this move through the tri-states. We have one tornado warning that is valid at this time down in Pike County, Illinois. It is valid until 6 o'clock. The current time right now is 5:37, so we've got another 23 minutes for this warning. It is possible it could be extended. It is also possible that we could see this warning be extended just to the north just a little bit. That would roll up south of the Barry area. Folks, if you're in Barry, while you're seeing some rain showers, some thunderstorms, some lightning, a tornado warning for you guys right now, not likely. We are focusing on areas that are to the east of this line, which would say that is east of Barry, and then rolling up to the Pittsfield into the Griggsville area. This is a pretty intense, decent line of thunderstorms here that did show rotation rolling across the areas that were even outside of the warned area, running toward the Griggsville area. Griggsville, all right, now at this time, you are not quite, I guess you guys are under the severe, or under a tornado warning. The severe thunderstorm warning that was valid on that just to the north of this has been expired. But this tornado warning that is still showing a pretty good rotation on it will be approaching the Pittsfield area here in the next 10 minutes. So folks in Pittsfield, you need to take shelter at this time. If you are unable to take shelter, if you're driving on the road, I mean, you want to put your seatbelt on, you want to lower yourself down in a car, and you want to try to ride this thing out if you can't get to a sturdy structure. Don't ever park under an overpass for protection. That kind of funnels the winds. It's not a good idea. So again, 54 rolling up into the Pittsfield area, then also rolling up into the Griggsville area, or Interstate 72. You folks are all under a tornado warning. Atlas, you guys are in the clear. Martinsburg, you guys are in the clear as far as a tornado warning at this time. Anyone south of Atlas, anyone south of Martinsburg and Pike County, you guys are out of the warning. Pleasant Hill, you guys are out of the warning. We are again focusing on the area that is approaching Pittsfield and also then approaching south of Griggsville, between Griggsville and Detroit. Those are the two areas that we, again, will be really monitoring closely. And I want to go in here just real quick and zoom in here and take a tighter look. So you folks that are in and around the Pittsfield area, if you are on Highway 54 approaching 136, that area right there is definitely under the gun for what would be a tornado warning. You can see the intense pink color on here.
They also just updated, they issued a new severe thunderstorm warning out ahead of this storm. So this is going to include Scott County and portions of Schuyler County as well. So they are really extending this warning further to the north and east. The severe thunderstorm warning was issued as this storm is located close to Meredosia, or 13 miles north of Winchester, moving northeast at 50 miles per hour. The hazards for this storm, it looks like they issued it for this whole line up here. The threat for these thunderstorms is 60 mile per hour winds and quarter-size hail. They also note, however, the potential for a tornado, as there are a few kinks in rotation in this line, also further for the line down to the south as well. So 60 mile per hour winds and quarter-size hail is the threats here as the storm heads into portions of the southernmost part of Schuyler County and the northern tip of Scott County. So this is north of the Winchester area. I do want to note Scott County not under the tornado warning for the storm yet. This is just the small area up near Bluffs where the severe thunderstorm warning is heading. You can see this front of the storm right there, about to enter the very northern tip of Scott County and then cross into Cass County and some of the other counties out to the east. So here are the storms that are entering this area.
And
Brian?
I want to just add to that real quick. I know they say Schuyler County is on that warning, but wow, if it is just barely there, just at the river.
Okay, so yeah, the storm is moving through Schuyler County. The warning itself does not encompass much of Schuyler County, but you will be hearing some of the thunder and all of that kind of thing. The main chunk of this warning will be the northern tip of Scott County, where the worst of this storm will be, and then we're also continuing to monitor the ongoing tornado warning down in Pike County. Now that is the same storm system. It's kind of a line of storms that's moving off to the north and east. Brian?
And so folks that are in the Rushville area, I know you guys are in, Schuyler County, county seat. While you're seeing a pretty good thunderstorm in Rushville, that you are not under a severe threat at this time. The severe portion of that storm has rolled on through, is over toward Bainbridge, over toward Frederick, over toward Browning. Those are the areas right now that we will be watching for a severe thunderstorm warning. While this storm is warned as it comes across the river, it is not warned back there. It is not warned back into that portion of Schuyler County. But it is something for us to keep an eye on. And
also,
really,
I should mention, these are some pretty heavy rainfall rates over Schuyler County, and Schuyler County is under a flash flood warning through this evening. We're continuing to monitor the flash flood threat in addition to the threat of the tornado warning and some of these severe thunderstorm warnings as well. A lot of these areas have received anywhere from 3 to 4 or even 5 inches of rain in some locations, and this is falling on top of already saturated soil, so lots of flash flooding potential with these thunderstorms. Never drive through flooded roads, and keep an eye on those water levels as you're taking shelter. So now we're focusing back on the tornado warning. They have chopped more of it off. It looks like the tornado warning now includes much of the Pittsfield area up to Griggsville. I know it includes Martinsburg and close to Montezuma. The worst of the storm is further to the north in around the Detroit area. So here is the leading edge of the storm, coming right at Illinois Route 54 and just south of Interstate 72 up there. You don't want to be traveling on these routes. Very heavy rainfall rates also falling in the Pittsfield area as well. So here's kind of the peak area of rotation that we're monitoring heading up just to the south of Griggsville. If you are in Griggsville, I still would take your tornado precautions though, as you are inside the warning. Just barely though, the northern half of this warning is more of the concern than the southern half of the warning in south central Pike County. And then this is the same storm that will eventually be moving into Scott County and then out of our coverage area eventually as they put out the severe storm warning for the quarter-size hail and some of those gusty winds. So this is all a line of storms along that has pushed through much of the tri-states. It's now on the eastern edge of the region. To the south, we have the storm in Pittsfield. We are still monitoring their next line of storms. It has weakened a little bit since what we were watching earlier. You can see we did have a tornado warning out near the Kirksville area in the storm in Adair County that had some strong rotation at one point. That storm has weakened. However, we are still keeping an eye on this line of storms as they push into the tri-states, into western central. What was that, Brian?
Keep going. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, they are starting to move closer to the western counties of the tri-states. So these storms were originally the main storms that we were looking at the threat of some tornadoes. Well, so we still have to keep an eye on those. Again, the tornado watch continues overnight tonight until 10 o'clock. So we'll have...
What they did, Logan, here, when you were talking about them extending that tornado watch, when they did that watch and they extended it for Scott County, they extended that watch all the way out till 1 a.m. You guys, that's really heavy-handed. We're not going to have severe weather till 1 a.m. I can tell you that right now. But that watch does go all the way across the state of Illinois just about. So that is why that watch goes till 1 a.m. It is likely, it goes up past the Champaign area. It is likely here that when these storms roll through, we've got to watch what's going on back here at the Kirksville area. But once we see that roll through the area, the severe threat then comes to an end. We'll like to see this tornado watch then trimmed off as we go through the next 4 or 5 hours or so. And I still say, what time is it now? 5:46. By the time we get to 9 o'clock tonight, these storms will have exited the tri-state area. So we got to be weather aware for now, all the way through about 9 o'clock. So we'll continue to watch these advisories and warnings that are out. We do have only one tornado warning that is out right now for any part of the tri-state area. That warning, again, right now is focused on the Pittsfield area for tornado warning until 6 o'clock. Currently, time right now is, 5:46? That's, again, so we got about another 15 minutes or so for this warning to go through. We can, yeah. I'm going to come back over here. Logan, you want to flip me spots real quick? If you want to come over this way,
okay.
And then we'll flip across here real quick and talk about. Come around this way, and we'll flip around real quick and talk about what exactly is going on as far as watches and warnings are concerned. You'll be on this cam right on cam 4, and what we'll be talking about really is just kind of give you guys a rundown. We got one warning that's out until 6 o'clock. Currently, it is 5:47. We have a tornado watch that is out for just about everybody in the tri-state area till 10 o'clock tonight. So tornado watch does still exist for Quincy, does still exist for Knox County, Shelby County, Rawls County, Monroe County. That tornado watch does still exist till 10 o'clock. It is likely it will be canceled before then. We then have a tornado watch that was issued for the very eastern edge of the tri-state area. That is for Scott County. That goes until 1 a.m. This is what we're watching. Again, this is this line of storms move through. We have one tornado watch that is or tornado warning that is valid for another 13 minutes in Pike County. That does include Pittsfield up toward Detroit, and then we have the severe thunderstorm warning that does include Bluffs in the very northern portions of Scott County. Folks that are over here in Schuyler County, just north of Mount Sterling, you guys are out of the woods as far as this is concerned. What I want to do, Logan, is take a wide look at this whole storm system right now as what's going on. So this is the main line of storms that was out ahead of the cold front, and the cold front itself, an area of low pressure, is back here. These are the storms. What's unlikely to happen is this area where this line of storms, this heavy line of storms rolled through, it is very unlikely for anything to fill in from here, from Kirksville down through the Columbia area. That zone is very, very unlikely to see any more severe thunderstorms develop, even as it rolls right back up into the Quincy. So we kind of have that area, I think, as a safe zone for us right now. South of that, Columbia, and then rolling on the very southern edge of the tri-state area, it is possible that we could see some redevelopment that would run through Rawls County, Pike County, Missouri, Pike County, Illinois, and into Scott County. So this might be a little bit of a longer night for folks in Scott County because you're getting the thunderstorms on the leading edge of out ahead of the cold front, and then it is possible you could see some development, although this looks like it might move straight to the east instead of that northeasterly component. That's kind of the big picture of what's going on. Tornado watch for everybody in the area right now, and then a tornado warning that we have that is out in Pike County, Illinois, and a severe thunderstorm warning that is out in Scott County, which they may just trim Scott County out of there in about the next 10 minutes or so. Although that storm that's just to the east of the Perry area, it looks pretty strong to me. Perry, Illinois, you guys are seeing a pretty intense little pocket here of thunderstorm. Meridosha also seeing that same thunderstorm rolling in again into Scott County, Exeter area. Winchester right now, you are not under a warning of any kind. However, the storm that is rolling through the Pittsfield area, you want to flip-flop those, Logan, real quick and put the warning underneath the radar real quick so the folks over here in Scott County can kind of see. There it is, again, rolling to the north and to the northeast. So very intense thunderstorm that does have a tornado warning on it, could possibly be moving into Scott County. So they may let this expire. How's the road? I'm not sure. It doesn't quite have a good signature on it where it was located, but we are seeing a little bit of a notch maybe. But instead of having our southeasterly wind flow, we've got almost a wind flow that's almost straight out of the south. So what concerns me most is right up into here, right up in between Griggsville and the Pittsfield area. While that's pretty intense south of the Pittsfield area, this zone up here is where I would be focusing most of my attention. You got anything, Logan?
Yeah, the peak of the circulation looks to be just in the northeastern tip of Pike County. So that is now right over top of Interstate 72 in between Pittsfield and Griggsville. Again, this general circulation area is heading into the northern tip of Scott County, where there is no tornado warning at the moment. There is that severe thunderstorm warning that is still in effect, although they do advise that a tornado is possible in that severe storm warning, likely because of this advancing storm system here. So the tornado warning in effect for about 9 more minutes or so. If we go ahead and re-loop it again, it's this same storm that's heading, it's now pushed just to the northeast of Pittsfield. Pittsfield, you're likely still seeing some very heavy rain and some thunder and lightning, but the worst risk for any developing tornado will likely now be to your north and east. Again, this is heading along and just ahead of Illinois Route 54 and Interstate 72 between Pittsfield and Griggsville, generally heading towards Bluffs in northern Scott County, but again, there is no tornado warning in effect yet for Scott County, and the Weather Service in Lincoln, Illinois has not indicated so far that they will be continuing this warning. So we're dealing with this warning for about another 8 or 9 minutes or so for the northeastern tip of Pike County, Illinois.
Yeah, so Detroit, folks in Pittsfield, while you've got a pretty good, strong, intense thunderstorm south of you, right now the Pittsfield area looks like you're out of the zone of concern for a tornado warning at this time. We are then focusing on areas that are south of Griggsville, running through the Detroit area on the very, very eastern edge of Pike County, Illinois, that would then run up into Scott County. So this is a very strong thunderstorm. What we haven't had any reports of just yet, and still daylight out there, what we haven't had much reports of, besides the heavy rain, is any damage reports that are coming out of this. Radar indications are one thing. A lot of strong radar indicators are there that makes us say, hey, that's a tornado that is on the ground, but we haven't had any ground truth, no confirmed tornado on this just yet. Either way, you want to be taking shelter when this type of a storm does approach you or approach where you live or where you're driving. Griggsville, south to Detroit is the zone of focus at this time. It is about ready to roll across the border into Scott County, where they already have a severe thunderstorm warning that is out for the Bluffs area. I would be a little bit concerned for areas that are outside of this severe thunderstorm warning, south of the Bluffs area, down toward Winchester. Winchester, this storm, while it is moving to the northeast, we are seeing some strong buildup on the southern edge of this. So it's possible we could see a severe thunderstorm warning issued for the southern half of the Scott County area. It is not there just yet. Seeing a little bit of bowing going on now, so this may end up being a little bit more of a line signature. In addition to that, that's just now starting to come together. So instead of being separate individual cells, which there are pockets that are in there, and these are all almost supercellular in nature, we are seeing what is a little bit of a bowing here. So that bowing segment generally is a good indicator that you're seeing some stronger wind that will develop out ahead of that as that storm system then starts to really race as one strong unit all in one direction. The wind flow out ahead of that, and right at that front, right where that storm then rolls into the area, is a pretty good blast of wind, which then causes a lot of power outages and tree damage.
As a matter of fact, I have a little bit of some new information. We have an unconfirmed report of a few small to medium-sized trees down right at the corner of, right near Highway 54, just across the bridge from Louisiana, Missouri. So that would be in the southern tip of Pike County, Illinois, right across the river where the storm rolled through earlier. We do have some reports that there were some small to medium trees blown over there. In addition to that, we did have one of our viewers comment that they at least briefly lost power in Griggsville, which makes sense as that's being hit by one of the stronger parts of the storm at the moment.
All right, and just now we did get some video in, and Mackenzie Henderson is here in studio with us. Mackenzie, what have you learned so far?
Yeah, Logan, you were just talking about Griggsville, and we do have some video from Griggsville in Pike County. You can see that rain coming down. This is from Wayne DeJanes. He sent this in to us. Of course, the heavy rain being the big story coming out of these storms overnight into this morning. We were all getting this really, really heavy rain. We've been getting reports of people having flooded basements and the flooded streets every now and then coming and going, and then the creeks overflowing, and you can definitely see all of that having a big impact across the tri-states. And then back to y'all.
Okay, so while we've been watching what's been going on off into Pike County, we do have a not quite in the viewing area just yet, but that one thunderstorm that did have a tornado warning on it just to the in the Kirksville area has since been flipped over to a severe thunderstorm warning, which you can kind of see just the edge of it, not quite ready to roll up into the tri-state area. So we're still monitoring this latter line of thunderstorms. This is the leading edge out ahead of that. We're still watching that, so we don't want you to think we forgot about you folks that are up toward LaBelle area. But Logan, if let's focus back down here to the Pike County area, and this is the zone of and I think they may have just no, they haven't done that just yet. But the severe thunderstorm warning is still out for the very southern tip of this, or northern tip of Scott County, and then the tornado warning still valid. It is now 5:56, and that tornado warning will expire at 6 o'clock, at least for the Pike County area. Since it's moving at such a rapid rate at 65, even 70 miles an hour off to the north and to the northeast, it will be through the Griggsville area here in a matter of minutes. Griggsville, you are under the gun right now, and they just did issue another severe thunderstorm warning, which we were talking that they thought they might do, which would encompass the Winchester area and all of the southern half of Scott County, and then roll over toward Morgan County, the Murrayville area, Jacksonville area. This severe thunderstorm warning, I would guess, I haven't seen it just yet, but will be for some 60, 70 mile an hour wind gusts. Logan, have you got the warning up for us?
Yes, I do have the severe thunderstorm warning. It was for the same storm moving out of Pike County. Now, they are continuing the severe thunderstorm warning, so that means the Weather Service office in Lincoln, Illinois, has decided to stick with a severe storm warning as the rotation, the circulation, is looking a little bit weaker than it did while it was over portions of Pike County, Illinois. Now, the severe thunderstorm warning is for Scott County in west central Illinois, and then, of course, other counties outside of our area, including Menard, Sangamon, Cass, and Morgan counties. Now, the severe thunderstorm was located near Winchester, so right over top of Scott County, moving to the east at 45 miles per hour. The hazards with this storm are 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. The warning goes until 6:45 this evening, so about another 45 to 48 minutes or so for the severe thunderstorm warning. Of course, with storm damage, with these high winds and the hail, you can expect some slight hail damage potentially, along with some wind damage to roof siding and trees. So these are some. This also includes Interstate 72 between mile markers 43 and 79. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that system as it moves through much of Scott County as well. Remember, originally it was just the northern tip of Scott County that was under a severe thunderstorm warning up near the Bluffs area. This now includes pretty much the majority of Scott County as they decided to continue the severe thunderstorm warning for the storms moving through Pike County. Storms are also a very prolific lightning maker. Remember that lightning can also be quite dangerous. When thunder roars, go indoors as a storm. There's all those lightning strikes. A very prolific lightning storm heading into northern portions of Scott County. Again, this severe thunderstorm warning does now include the city of Winchester as well. The tornado warning for Pike County continues for about another 2 minutes or so, and it looks like they will allow that to expire since they issued the severe thunderstorm warnings out ahead of that.
Okay, so what we want to do over here over the next 2 minutes really is we want to kind of give everybody an idea of what to expect for the rest of the evening.
They just expired the tornado warning.
So the tornado warnings has been expired, and so that's kind of our cue to say, hey, we're going to stop our wall-to-wall coverage and get you back to your regularly scheduled program. But before we do that, I want to kind of give you the rundown of what to expect for the rest of the night tonight. Northern half here, the tri-state area, we still have the potential here as you're rolling into the potential here for still tornadic activity. This tornado watch does still go out until 10 o'clock at night. Quincy area, I really think we're probably going to be in the clear here, even though we're under the watch until 10 o'clock. It is just north of us when you get up into Lewis County, and then as you head further to the west over toward Knox County, and then over toward the Kirksville area, which is just outside the viewing area. So we may have a couple more severe thunderstorm warnings that are in here. The tornado watch goes until 10 o'clock for most of the tri-state area. Down here into Scott County, this tornado watch goes later than that until 1 o'clock in the morning, although I don't think the threat will last that long. That is what we're watching right now. So that line of thunderstorms as it exits is not quite over just yet. While normally, we see a line of thunderstorms come through and that's the end of it. We are still watching what was actually the cold front, which is back here to the west near the Kirksville area, and that that will continue to roll through the area. So there's still the potential for some redevelopment here, but as it stands right now, there are no more tornado warnings that are out for the tri-state area. We will watch the rotation on these storms. If there are any more storms that are issued, or tornado warnings that are issued along with this line of thunderstorms or the developing line to the tail end of this, we will cut back into programming. Any other severe thunderstorm warnings, we will cut back into programming, and I hope everybody had a safe afternoon in the tri-states.
WGEM Storm Track Weather. Your weather authority is always on the WGEM Storm Track Weather app. And be sure to like our Facebook page for live updates.